Welcome to Divine Earth School TV, the place where high achievers and spiritual seekers come to embody, embrace, and express their divinity, where I talk all things life, health, business, and spirituality. So let's dive in. Hello, Mosaic Souls. Hey, Mosaic Souls, this is Rachael Alexander, artist and Mosaic Soul mentor, aka spiritual teacher and transformational life and business coach with flair. And today I really wanted to talk about how to stop blaming yourself and others. And this is a super powerful topic because so many times we are caught up in feeling stuck and stagnant in our lives. And one of the main ways we get stuck and stagnant is that we are either outwardly projecting our blame on other people, or we're blaming ourselves or self-criticizing ourselves or self-ridiculing ourselves. And we get into this sort of loop of sort of negativity and negative thinking and negative way of looking at our lives, to a place to where we can't really truly enjoy where we are, especially, my high achievers, where you've accomplished so much, you've checked so many things off the list of accomplishment, and yet you still feel unhappy. A lot of times it's because there's this element playing out. So let's talk about, excuse me, I just ate an apple. Let's talk about how to stop blaming yourself and others for your current life circumstances or how you're feeling, right? And the first true tip is really to have a mindset shift and recognize that you are the one creating your own reality. And what I mean by that is learning to take 100% responsibility. And the reason why I want to talk about creating your own reality is recognizing that when you are the divine person orchestrating the events of your life through your thoughts, feelings, emotions, what I like to call your inner world, when you recognize that you're the one orchestrating your life events because of how you are perceiving your reality and how things are moving around and what you're feeling and what you're focusing on, you start to recognize that no one can truly do anything to you, right? Like, you are making a conscious or unconscious decision to be in a certain circumstance or to play out a certain scenario or to honor a certain agreement or obligation or whatever, right? So at the common denominator through all of this is you. And this is not about self-blaming. This is just about recognizing, which is step number 2, is that the power is in your hands, right? That your outer reality is a reflection of your inner reality, of your inner world, right? So I always like to have this sort of separation of recognizing that everything that you're creating or you're experiencing in your outer reality in terms of circumstances, habits, situations, relationships, and all that stuff, right, is a direct reflection of your inner world, your thoughts, feelings, beliefs, emotions, and all that good stuff, right? And so when you recognize that this is what's going on, then the power is truly in your hands. And so you no longer blame the world or blame your partner or blame your boss or you blame yourself, right? A lot of times my clients, and something I used to struggle with, was blaming myself. Like, oh my God, I remember struggling with this really hardcore a couple of years ago, where I would always be blaming myself, because especially when you're a spiritual, on the spiritual path, and you know that you're the one creating your own reality, we can kind of get caught up in these loops of being like, oh God, why did I do this? Why? I know better, right? And so we can kind of get caught up in that loop of like blaming ourselves. But it's learning to truly let go, which is step number 3, is let go of judgment, of self-judgment and judgment of others, right? And when you recognize that the power is in your hands, right, it's recognizing this is an empowering notion. This is an empowering truth, right? That the power is in your hands, right? And so you're not at effect or fall victim to anything, because you hold the keys to your own kingdom, right? And so when you're letting go of judgment, you're recognizing that other people are doing the best with what they currently know, including you, right? I remember talking to a client about this just last week. We all do the best with what we know, right? If you didn't grow up learning about the power of your inner world or your thoughts and your feelings, emotions, which most of us don't, which I really truly is the whole purpose behind Divine Earth School here, is to teach you these skills, these life skills that we aren't really taught, right, in school. Like, we're taught geography and all these other outwardly things, but we're not really taught how to be a healthy, thriving human being on the planet, right? So if you're not taught this, you act out in your life, and other people act out in their lives according to their current set of beliefs, their current ways of looking and frames of looking at life and models of reality, right? And so when you are operating on a system that no longer truly serves your highest good or no longer serves all parties that involve, there can be hurt and, pain and all that other stuff involved, right? But this letting go of the self-judgment and judgment of others is recognizing that you wouldn't have, taken that action, or that person wouldn't have said that thing to you or done that thing if they didn't have a certain belief system that was operating that allowed them to do such actions or take such actions or say such things, right? Now, this is not giving people a pass to be, assholes or being horrible people, right? We're not condoning bad behavior within ourselves or within others, but it's just recognizing from a higher level of consciousness that everyone does the best with what they can, with what they believe, right? And so the judgment lets you start to release the self-judgment, and you start to release the judgment of others, and you start to shift into a higher frequency of moving on the planet, such that what you desire starts to naturally unfold. And not only what you desire unfolds, but you start to rest in a place of peace and peaceful confidence and inner knowing that all is well and all will always be okay. And because you're the one creating your own reality, and because you're a divine being, because you say so, really, that's really it. So that's step number 3, is letting go of judgment of yourself and of others, right? And then step number 4 of how to stop blaming yourself is to recognize that you are loved. And my divine team totally threw this one in as I was writing down on my notes. Recognize that you are loved, whatever you want to call it, infinite intelligence, God, your divine team, your angels, your guides, your higher self, that you are truly a being of light and love, whether or not you recognize or experience that on a day-to-day basis, but that's what you truly are, and you're temporarily playing this game of human, right, on the planet. And in our game of playing this human game, right, that we are love and light beings, and we come from love and light, and we're surrounded by love and light. But the only reason why we don't experience it as love and light is because we don't know. A lot of times we are in this sort of veil of forgetfulness, where this is veil covering our inner knowing of who and what we truly are, right? And so recognizing, having this recognition or self-awareness of, oh, I'm more than just this human being. I'm more than just this, my past circumstances. My past does not equal my future. That's another reframe of thought that can kind of help you in this, is you start to let go of blame, right? When you let go of my past doesn't equal my future, then you can let go of all the things that occurred to you that you didn't necessarily want to happen, right? Even if you were the root, we all are the common denominator in all these factors, but even if you were the, conscious or unconscious participant in these activities that were leading you down a path that you might not necessarily have wanted to go, right? And then number 5 is really to love yourself wherever you are on your journey, right? So a lot of times when we are, on this spiritual path or on this personal development path, and we become aware of the fact that we're the ones creating our own realities, there comes this sort of self-criticism. And I'll link up a video where I talk about self-criticism, but how to let go of self-criticizing yourself. But this is one of the things my clients struggle with all the time. It's so interesting how often, especially us as women, we're so hard on ourselves. There's no sense of self-love or self-care. The amount of love and care that we give others, rarely do I see many of my clients who come to me actually harboring that within themselves, right? Like, we can give love and appreciation and attention to others, but rarely do we give it to ourselves. So that's really the step number 5, is really to start to love yourself wherever you are on your journey, right? Wherever you are, you know, in your state of consciousness, wherever you are in your state of clarity, wherever you are in your state of fulfillment and joy, love yourself wherever you are, because you know, change is constant. That's one thing that you know, that change will always be constant. So those are the 5 steps, or the 5 tips to stop blaming yourself. And I want to do a quick recap. And the first one is really to have a mindset shift and recognize that you are the one creating your own reality. The second one is recognizing that the power is in your hands and your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. Step number 3 is to let go of self-judgment and judgment of others. Step number 4 is to recognize that you are loved. You are loved by infinite intelligence. You are so loved that you are a fractal of this infinite cosmos that we call life on planet Earth, right? That you are the only unique expression that will ever exist in the way that it will exist now. That's how much you are loved, right? And then number 5 is love yourself wherever you are, right? Love yourself wherever you are. Love others wherever they are. Allow others to be wherever they are without trying to push them, and just give yourself and others the space to be who you truly came here to be, and allow your path to unfold. So I hope these tips have been helpful, and I want to go ahead and invite you guys to my self-love, confidence, and clarity challenge starting on February 15th through the 19th. I know last time I had a video, I talked about it being on the 8th, but I decided to bump it back a week. So it's going to be 5 days of really crystal clear prompts where you're going to have an activity to do every day, a training and an activity to do, and also be able to share your insights and your ahas and from the activity and with others, and really learn how to embody self-love and confidence and clarity in your life and your purpose. And this being the month of love, I was like, why not have a self-love challenge, right? It makes so much sense. Like, you can't really love others unless you first have a healthy sense of self-love. And so if that is something that you're interested in, visit divineearthschool.com/self-worth. I'll put the link in the description box below. And I look forward to having you guys join me in that free challenge. And if you are wanting to learn the 5 top tips that my clients are taking to dramatically embody radical self-confidence, ditch people-pleasing, perfectionism, and second-guessing themselves, and check out the second link in the description box below, where I go through those 5 tips in the description box below in my free masterclass. So thank you so much for watching, and as always, flow with what feels good and let go of what doesn't, because you are divine. You are a divine being, and your soul knows exactly what you've come to explore and experience and traverse while on this planet. So remember, what you conceive is what you'll receive. What you expect is what you'll get, and however you feel is what will become real for you. So vibrate higher, and I will chat with you guys later. Peace, love, and light.